Heather, thank you for coming in. Welcome to On the Coast.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So you joined the world of entertainment at a very young age. Can you tell us more, I guess, about those early years and what drove you to start performing for people?
I think I just was one of those wiggly kids that just loved moving all the time.
Right.
And I think I had a lot of fun entertaining my family and just getting up and just making them feel good. That's, I think, was my big MO at the time. Right. And then eventually I just really, took that into my schools. I was making up stories all the time. I was just, as they called them people back then, a ham. And yeah, definitely just found my way into loving, exploring my creativity through that means of expression,
right.
And got to learn some music and all that started to come together in a way that was like, I want to figure out how to put this into more of a formal way of expression.
Yeah. I mean, to be able to communicate with people and then to make that your career is incredible. You did start out as an actor and are credited for appearing, I want to get this right, in various films, including the Lizzie McGuire movie. That's pretty impressive for people of a certain vintage. How was that experience for you?
Yeah, I mean, the acting, the experience of just going through, trying to become an actor and, understanding character and story and investing in that at a young age and then building into an adult was like anything, a craft where you're like relentlessly working at it to understand it. So yeah, it was that journey in itself really lended itself to becoming a choreographer that could really bring to life narrative and understanding that instead of just dance steps. And so for me, becoming an actor and getting to, perform with, actors on set that, I looked up to for sure.
Yeah.
Was just something I'm super thankful I got to experience.
And so, if you can, I guess, sort of lead me how you got on that path to becoming a choreographer, because performing is a very different, set of not skills, but it's definitely feeding a different part of you, I would think. So how do you pivot into choreography?
Absolutely. I mean, I eventually found my way into dance, like probably around 11, where I was like, all right, I really want to do this while I was doing some acting. And eventually, went to Toronto and did musical theater there. Okay. And that's where I was like, oh, I need to learn to sing. And so doing having my own personal experience of live stage experience, doing musical theater also helped me, eventually transition into realizing I wanted something really deep in my dancing. So I went heavy into contemporary dance. Okay. And then eventually, as my body was like, hey, girlfriend, you need to, start to tone it down.
Oh, bodies.
Yo, bodies. I just, the thought for me was, I have this acting experience. I understand song, I understand dance. And I love camera. Okay. So that for me was like, all right, I want to transition into fully understanding what this means. I know what it looks like to choreograph, but to actually integrate into production, film and TV production is a whole other learning experience. So that was my curiosity. And I dove in.
Well, and you're telling that story on so many different levels. You're hitting sort of all of the senses, which must be incredible, but also incredibly difficult. As a choreographer, I would ask, where do you get most of your ideas and inspiration from? I can't fathom how you just come up with something like that.
Well, a lot of it is, especially with scripted type work, it's, you're looking at the script and you're pulling a lot from like past, movies, things that you can communicate to your director, because a lot of times the way it's relatable is something they've seen before. Okay. And then you can riff off that and say, okay, creatively, this is where I'd like to go. What do you think about that? And then pitching it, like them actually seeing it, where I shoot like a mini version of it with what we call a skeleton crew of dancers that can learn really quickly. Right. And then they can start to say, okay, yeah, that's the right direction. But a lot of it, of course, is lifted from script. And then, you can pull from, you're absolutely right, it can go anywhere. So it's really being attuned to all the different ways, we express dance, movement, any kind of physical expression. And especially doing like, Riverdale, I did, 6 seasons of it, where I was constantly pulling from so many different things. That show creator was, going all over the place in terms of what we were
so
bringing.
Many eras and different genres. That must have been really exciting. And we are running out of time, but I want to acknowledge you're up for 3 Emmy Awards. Is this your first nomination?
Actually, I'm up for 2 this year.
Okay.
Thank you so
Mistake.
much. That's okay. Last year, it was the J team was Jojo Siwa.
Okay.
And going there and having that experience was amazing. And having 2 this year is beyond amazing to me. So, yeah.
Well, we obviously wish you all of the best, and we'll, keep us posted and let us know, and we'll touch base and see what you're working on next. I'm sure it'll be fascinating and very exciting.